And right now we are 2 minutes away from the end of the trading day. Romaine Bostick alongside Katie Greifeld taking you through to that closing bell with a global simulcast. It starts now. Carol, Massar and Tim Stenovec. There's Carol in the radio booth. Welcome to our audiences across all of our audience. I know she just turns around like she's surprised. We do this at the same time every day, Carol Massar.
Yeah, but this day is different.
Wait, who's there?
This day is different.
What's different?
Did you say happy anniversary to Carol?
Happy anniversary. What's your anniversary? Your wedding anniversary?
Yeah, it is my wedding anniversary.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope he's watching right now.
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Okay. Wow. There you go.
But the important things he's good about.
All right. Well, look what he's missing.
Turns it off during the simulcast.
Green on across the screen, Carol Massar.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, bouncing around here, but you're right. We have equities, so investors moving into both equities and bonds today. This as we get ready for that Wednesday Fed decision. There's a lot coming out. We have a bunch of central bank meetings this week.
We do. Not green across the screen, though, if you look at what's happening with airlines. You got Delta lower, American Airlines lower, United Airlines all lower. Alaska came out and said third quarter profit will be at the low end of their previous estimate. That's weighing on airlines today.
Absolutely. So still some red if you really look for it. But overall, it just seems like we are setting up for Wednesday. Romaine and I have been discussing whether or not, given that we hit record high after record high, whether this could turn into a sell the news event. That could be the question to ask. But right now, again, green on the screen.
We actually asked that of Brent Schutte, who was just on with us, talking about the markets, and he thinks a lot of it's already priced in.
Yeah, it does appear so. We'll find out, of course, in about 48 hours or so as we close out the bells here on this Monday afternoon. It is green for the major indices here in the U.S., and more importantly for the S&P and NASDAQ. Record highs. The S&P up about 0.5% on the day to that 66.15 level. The NASDAQ composite up about 200 points or almost 1%. Similar move higher for the NASDAQ 100. The Dow Jones Industrial Average adding about 50 points or 0.1%, while the Russell 2000 is up by about 8 points or 0.3%.
All right, good stuff. S&P 500, you've got actually, despite a fair amount of green on the screen, 302 names in the S&P 500. Katie, losing ground today, 199 to the upside, 2 unchanged.
Well, let's see what the circle says about that. At the sector level, you do have some pretty important sectors in the green right now. Tech, of course, chief among them. Communication services also having a really strong day. A lot of that comes back to Alphabet, which I'm sure we'll discuss. Then you take a look at what isn't doing too hot. Consumer staples lower by more than 1%. Healthcare also getting sold off today. So more red than green, at least taking a look at the sector breakdown, but you can see what is green on the circle definitely looks good.
Yeah, pretty dominant there. Let's get to some of the individual gainers.
Hey, Carol, did you know that William Taft, former president, was actually born on your wedding anniversary?
Wow.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there you go.
That wasn't the deciding factor in the date?
Yeah, that's exactly it. What we were talking about when we would get married. News you can use. All right, Tesla, top gainer in the S&P and NASDAQ 100 throughout the day. Nothing like the ultimate insider, Tesla insider buying shares. You guys all know the story. Elon Musk kind of responding to that unprecedented proposal in terms of the Tesla board, the pay proposal of $1 trillion, Of course, there are some conditions around it, but nonetheless, Elon bought about $1 billion worth of shares. So it sent shares of Tesla soaring up as much as 7.5% in today's session, finishing, though, with about a 3.6% gain in today's session. He bought them indirectly, a revocable trust, revocable, Is that the way you say it? What am I saying? Is it right?
I'm not a lawyer.
That's one of those words that I read and I don't say
revocable.
It loud.
Is it revocable?
Yeah.
Didn't sound right when it came out. Okay. He did that on September 12th, according to regulatory filing. What we really care about.
What are you talking about? Hey, Carol Massar, did you know that Agatha Christie was also born on this day in history?
Oh,
come back to us, Romaine.
Okay.
Come back to us. All right, let's get to...
I thought you needed a moment to
Kate, I always need a moment. Katie mentioned Alphabet, and that stock up about 4.5% in today's session. Yes, finishing with that $3 trillion market cap. So joining NVIDIA, Microsoft, and Apple, that $3 trillion market cap club. So we definitely see Alphabet go into it. This stock, a top gainer in the NASDAQ 100. And we should point out that Citi raised its price target also on the Google parent to 280 from 225, noting, yes, competition facing the company's search business, but also noting greater clarity around the Alphabet story when it comes to legal and regulatory challenges. And they just think there's also a healthy online advertising market. So all in on Alphabet today. And then CoreWeave, definitely an outperformer, up 7.6% in today's session. And that one, the cloud computing provider, went public, of course, this year, saying its shareholder NVIDIA will buy cloud services with an initial value of $6.3 billion. It's all part of a deal that was announced a few years ago, but it requires NVIDIA to buy any excess capacity not used by its customers. So CoreWeave putting that out in a regulatory filing. Anything else about September 15th that I need to know, Romaine?
Yeah, I've got a couple. I'm just waiting for the right time to interject.
Okay.
Okay.
Take it away, Tim.
I'll start with some decliners. This was the worst performer on a percentage basis in the S&P 500. Corteva today down 5.7%, falling the most intraday going back to April of this year. Wall Street analysts find a potential breakup of the company's seed and pesticide businesses negative for the firm. Bloomberg Intelligence says a breakup undermines product and financial logic. Bank of America says a separation would create two weaker entities. You remember the report that we talked about here on Friday from the Wall Street Journal said that the seed and pesticide company is looking into separating into two companies. They cited two people familiar with the matter. Hain Celestial down 25% today, lost a quarter of its value. This after the company posted fiscal fourth quarter results and revealed sales fell 13%. Management provided disappointing first quarter guidance. You know, this was only the worst day going back to May. That was when it fell 47% in a single day. Stock is down 74% so far this year, and at one point today it hit its lowest level in more than 30 years, going back to 1994.
What's going on with this? I remember, like, when I was younger, I used to always, all their teas that they had.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it was kind of like a staple in our house. But
Celestial Seasoning is the tea. They also have Garden of Eden chips. I'm a big fan of the Red Hot Blues.
Yeah, I like those too. Yeah.
Those are good. Earth's Best with baby formula, baby food and stuff. Okay. So it's a pretty diversified portfolio, but they've been under pressure for quite a while.
There's a lot of choices out there now.
Yes.
Gil, right?
Yeah, there are a lot of choices.
You can't even buy a box probably of Hain Celestial. Like, you could either like the share
What do you mean?
price.
What do you mean you can't buy a box?
I mean, like,
have you been in a grocery store lately?
Well, my point is, like, a share of their stock is cheaper than probably a box of tea.
Oh, I got you.
Sorry.
Okay.
I jumped ahead a little bit.
Like, drink some deadly tea.
$1.62, is that right? Yeah, okay. I'm just looking up at the screen. VF Corp, also under some pressure today. The stock fell today just by about 1% at the end of the day. Intraday, it was down more. The company said it'll sell Dickies to brand management firm Blue Star Alliance for $600 million in cash. They bought Dickies 8 years ago for $820 million. The company's CEO said that the sale will enable VF to bring the company's net debt level down.
Hey, I just want to chime in here, add a sort of honorable mention, a small cap stock moving in the after hours trade. Dave & Buster's, ticker play, down as much as 10%. They're reporting earnings, and it looks like a big miss here. Second quarter adjusted EPS coming in at 40 cents a share. The street was looking for 90 cents, so a big miss on that front. On the revenue side, a modest miss of about $557 million. Overall, though, comp sales down about 3%. And, of course, a lot of people really trying to get a read here on what's going on in the economy, whether we're still spending, and more importantly, whether we are still spending on discretionary items. We'll keep an eye on that space and bring you any updates as soon as we get them. Just a quick check on yields, guys. We did see the Treasury curve shift lower here once again here on the day. A lot of folks, of course, really trying to reposition or simply position around the big Fed decision, which comes on Wednesday afternoon.
Yeah, looking forward to that. Of course, we talk about how much is priced in when it comes to the equity market. You have to wonder how much is priced in when it comes to the bond market. But maybe we should talk about some interesting news out of the Vatican. I know that this caught your attention. Apparently, the Pope was asked about Elon Musk's proposed $1 trillion pay package. And
we should point out a Chicagoan, but go on.
Right. First American Pope. It's all very exciting. He said that this basically is going to be big trouble. He was talking about the growing income divide. This was during an interview with The Crux that was released on his 70th birthday, which I believe was over the weekend. So it's interesting to hear the Pope weigh in at all, I would say.
As a big fan of the Pope, as a Chicagoan and as a fellow Catholic, big fan. Why is he weighing in on this? I I mean, I know he gets to talk about whatever he wants to talk about, but
it wasn't like he got on the horn, I think, and just broadcast his opinion. It was in an interview. He was asked about it.
We're not going to see him at the shareholder meeting in a few weeks,
awesome.
raising his hand.
He's got a new podcast.
Would there be a special Tesla Pope-mobile?
That is a good question. Maybe he'll be asked about that next. You do mention he's from Chicago. He also went to Villanova University, which is right down the street from Haverford.
You do not get to claim him, Katie. He's a
Chicagoan. I'm really trying
we got some breaking news here, guys. Actually, on Disney and Webtoon shares up 34% right now in the after-hours trade. This after learning that Disney has acquired a 2% stake in Webtoon Entertainment. If you're not familiar with it, talk to your kids here. But basically now saying that this new platform combined with Disney will host 35,000 of the comic series from Webtoon. A huge boon for Webtoon here. Disney shares not doing a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, Webtoon was up about 10% year to date, but you're right, Romaine. It's up almost 50% here in the aftermarket, so certainly catching our attention. About a $1.9 billion market cap.
It is. I will point out, we spoke with David Lee just a few weeks ago. He's the CFO and COO of Webtoon. Check out that interview if you did miss it.
Nice plug.
Yeah.
Nice plug.
Just,
Wait, can we flip our hair on that
you're
one?
welcome to come back too and join us on this deal as well.
Wow.
Always be selling, you know?
Always be selling.
Always be closing.
What about Bob Iger? Did you have him?
We got to. You're breaking up, Romaine. You're breaking up.
Well done.